Let me see. I want one. I really, like, for real can't see.
I can't see.
Good morning, guys. I can, for real, not see you guys at all. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. We are having, love you. Have a great day. Be peaceful.
Okay.
I will see you in an hour.
All right.
You got it. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. We're having
backed up a little more.
Confessions and conversations about your everyday life and finances. My name is
Just a little more.
Yanmitra JoJo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? Y'all, this sun is all the way real.
Short compared to the front of the truck. I'm kind of like regretting not bringing my bag, but like also I just don't care. I have a pencil, so.
Yeah, because you're not doing any work.
I'm taking a final, so.
That's it. Congratulations on passing your final. Be peaceful. I love you. Have an amazing day. I don't want any more. Thank you, though.
Yeah, I don't know why you looked like you had water.
I don't know. You look beautiful, though.
I know.
Thank you. Have a great day. Do good on the finals. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining the show. We are running a tad bit behind because, life is just crazy all the time. Sometimes things happen. My daughter can't. My car is still not fixed. So, again, I come back in the car. Good morning, Margaret. And my 22-year-old is on my bed crying because somehow she pulled a muscle in her neck and she cannot move her neck at all. And I told her, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do because they're only going to pump you full of muscle relaxers at the hospital. And since we don't do medicine, that's a negative. So we did a lot of deep breathing and laying of the hands in a hot shower and compresses to help her make her feel better. So here we are. Good morning. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show. My name is Yanmitra JoJo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me? Good morning, Money. Y'all, this phone is sitting so precariously. I'm moving. Let us pray. Okay, let's just go with that. How about that? All right. So today's Fearless thought for today is, let's talk about something. Let's talk about connecting the dots. How do you connect the dots? First of all, my tattoo is healing real nicely. Every time I look at it, I'm shockingly surprised that I even have this on my body. If anybody knows me, and if she's not feeling any better, I may take her to our chiropractor. Thank you, Kimberly. If anybody knows me, y'all know I'm shocked every morning that I even have this on me. And sometimes it scares me, like I think there's something on me and I slap it. And that doesn't feel good. So let's be peaceful today. But let's talk about connecting the dots. So on this journey, we're figuring things out. And you say, well, JoJo, I'm trying to figure out what it is that I want to do. I don't quite know. And I don't understand. How do I connect the dots? Like, how do I know that? And I will always say, take the next right step for the second. Thank you, Margaret. I appreciate it. And this is the first time going in the office bare arm because I have been wearing quarter-length sleeves on my jacket. So this is the first time me going into corporate America in the compliance department, no less, with tattoos. So, but I'm sure to be okay because there's plenty. It's more acceptable these days. But how do we connect the dots? Like, how do we know what we know, right? We know what we want to do, but we're not sure how to connect the dots. Like, how do I get from one end to the other, JoJo? And I'm always going to tell you, I take it second by second. Take the next right first step, because if you don't take a step, you'll stay stuck. And if you never go, you will never see. So I don't like people. No, I'm not going to say that. I don't understand people when they say, I don't like this, and they've never tried anything. And so the rule in my house is that if we go anywhere new, to a new restaurant or something, you got to try something different. You can't eat the same things. And but I don't know if I'm like it. But if it has all the things that you normally eat, so if it's chicken, vegetables, and it's a sauce, and these are all things that you would eat in another dish, they just happen to be cooked together in this one dish, then you can try it because you like all the things that combine make that thing. So be open to try something different. But let's talk about connecting the dots. So that is, I ain't gonna say it's difficult, but when you're starting on this journey and you're trying to connect the dots and you're trying to figure out the next thing that you need to do to get where you want to go. Like if you're like me, you have a gazillion thoughts and ideas, and I'm like, well, JoJo, how in the world are you going to accomplish this, or how are you going to get from this point to this point to this point? So this is how I work connecting the dots for me. Okay, so I'm a big picture thinker, but my career has taught me to be the project manager, coordinator, to do the little steps. And I don't love the little steps. I don't love them. And that's part of me that, you know, when I talk about all the time, people tell you what you're good at and you assume that's what you're called to do. Like I assumed I was called to be an executive assistant or, you know, to help people organize. I hate it. But because people told me I was good at it for so long, and it does come with ease for me. Like I can easily do it, but I hate it. So that's a thin line. So, but I'm a big picture thinker. So this is what I have to do. Because my career path has said, JoJo, do the tiny things. And even though it's the big picture, it's the tiny things. Thank you, Margaret. I had to learn not only to delegate, but I had to learn. Margaret, get out my head. I had to learn to let go and not get caught up in the small, minute details of the thing. So if I know, for me, connecting the dots is because this is the big picture and this is the end result right here on that invisible path, I'm going to get caught up in the little things. I'm going to revert back from big thinking to revert back to, oh, let me handle the small details of this, this, and this, and this. And when I get caught up in the small details of it, I forget this. And so for me, connecting the dots is taking my big picture and breaking it down. And then when I break my big picture down, when I break my big picture down, I have to decide. Y'all remember we had that conversation, what is urgent and what is important? And then I can ask somebody else to do those things. I am just now, last week, getting to that point, okay? Because I do the steps. Please understand, I do the steps. I write out the big picture and I write out the things I need to accomplish to get the big picture done. And then I would take the easiest things and do them first. And I would mark them off the list. And then I would go and do the harder things. And the harder things till the big picture was accomplished. But last week, through the pushing off the cliff of Margaret, I went on Fiverr. Now, here's the thing. I've been on Fiverr. So Fiverr is a website where you can hire people to do things. And I've had an intern that didn't work out, and that's okay. But Fiverr is a place where you can go and you can hire somebody to do small things for you for as little as $5, $10, $15, $20. I've had an account forever. I have interviewed people to do small tasks. But guess what? Because I could not let go, I did not hire them. And so this past week, I hired somebody to do a flyer for me. When I tell you, and you may say just a small thing, but the stress it took off of me, because, and Lynn Dimmons will say this all the time, you're either going to pay in time or you're going to pay in money. And sometimes you don't have the time and you don't have the money. So then you have to decide what is important, what is urgent, and how you need to accomplish it. Yes. And then when I got caught up in the small things, I didn't accomplish the big things. So as you're connecting the dots, so if you want to change your community, let's say you want to do something inside of your church ministry in your local church. Okay, let's just use that for an example. And somebody take this idea, because it's my idea, and I have taken it to 2 churches so far, and nobody has been interested. And if you want me to come and do it at your church, I am available. And if you don't, here's a free thought for you. Margaret, don't kill me for giving away a free idea, because I know as soon as I get off of here, she's going to call me. Here's something. And sometimes you have the big ideas, and it may not be for you to do. And so you have to start connecting the dots. And if you're just starting, do the small things until you learn to delegate. Do the small things until you figure out the rhythm of it and you get the experience and you're like, yes, because nobody started out as a professional anything. We are all beginners, right? We all started out beginning anything. So if you always had a big dream of doing something with the ministry at your church or with the kids, or perhaps you want to bring a new fresh idea to your church and your pastor ain't having it, you got to connect the dots for some folk and connect the dots for yourself. Start small. Write down your idea. Write it down first, and then look at the steps that you think about the steps that know have to be done first, and then the smaller things are going to add up. Y'all know my favorite quote by Mr. John Wooten: don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. So you may want to bring this big change, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I can't do it, JoJo. Who am I? I'm just JoJo from Forest City, Spindale, Ralston, Union Mills. Who am I to be doing all of this? Who are you not to? The idea came to you for a reason, my friend. It keeps reoccurring for a reason, right? And so that means you've got to do something about it. And so for you to connect the dots, write it down first. And then write down the small things. You know more than you think you do. You know how to accomplish this thing. It's just that you caught up in, who am I? I don't know. Mama there, cousin there. You know this. You know these church folk. This is my church. These people at work. Take your idea that you have at work and present it to somebody. I've done that a gazillion times, scared to death. Did it anyway. Don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. Start with the little things. You was smart, you was able, you was brilliant, you was beautiful. So for me, connecting the dots starts with taking my big picture and then writing it out. And then, what if you don't have the big picture yet, JoJo? Like, I just know, and it's really broad. Like, I know I want to help people. Well, help them how? Well, start looking at your everyday life and take notes of how did you help the person. When you want to help people, how do you want to help them? When you see a mother or a sister struggling or elderly person struggling, how do you want to help them? And start connecting the dots backwards so that you can achieve the big picture of the thing that you want. Because at the end of the day, all of us want to, what's the word I want to use? All of us want to contribute to the world. We're just not sure how we want to contribute to the world. We want to contribute to the world, but we also want to feel comfortable. We all want to belong in our own space in the world. Meaning, I want to belong in the space of being my sister's keeper, like I have. And I think, come on, let's bring it on home, JoJo. I think some of us do not want to be our sister's keeper, change the world, do anything. We don't want to focus on that big idea because we no longer will belong where we are. JoJo, girl, what? I'm getting this for myself. You know what? Y'all know on Friday we talked about asking for things up here, but you're really looking at things here, but you're accepting things here. It's because when I start asking for things up here, when I start looking at things up here, I'm no longer going to belong here. And at the core of being a human being, my sister and my brothers, and my brother Michael's on here, at the core of your being, all of us want to belong. We want to belong somewhere. We want to belong to somebody. Hey, baby, how you doing? You're going to have to move. And all of us, we just want to belong somewhere. We just want to be comfortable in our skin. But when you start connecting the dots, when you take your big dream, or even if it's the small idea and you don't understand the big idea yet, but you start connecting those dots, either way, what you're going to find, my sister, is that you cannot stay here and you're no longer going to belong here. JoJo, this is for you. Amen, JoJo. Thank you, girl. Appreciate you. I'll talk to myself. I'm just saying. Because when we start asking for things up here, and who are we not to ask for those things? you're not going to belong here. So we think we ain't even worthy to think that we belong up here. We looking at things here, but we only accepting things down here. And it's because down here on a small level, we belong. We belong. And we're comfortable. And I know I said this before in the show, some of us would rather relish in our past accomplishments than move on to greater futures. We would. We'd rather live in, what I used to be, who I used to be, what I used to do. You know, back in high school, back in the day, I was the finest thing, girl. I had the body. What about now, though? And so some of us are comfortable in our past life, so we don't want to, and that's why we stay where we stay. That's why we do what we do, because we're comfortable in our past life, and we're afraid of the unknown of the future life. But when you start connecting the dots, when you start on this journey of living past crazy, when you decide that you want something different, you're not going to belong. You're not. It's just not going to happen. You're not going to belong there, and you're not going to be able to stay there. Right. Thank you, Margaret. We don't belong there. And until you understand that, until that becomes living and breathing and real to you, like on this journey, I had to come to a place. I came to a lot of plateaus, y'all, where I figured I didn't belong here anymore, so I had to keep going. And then when I got there and rested, I was like, oh, finally a place where I belong. I didn't belong there either. And then the more you go, the more you grow, and the more you realize the belonging part, and that's what we all want as humans, is to belong. We want to be accepted where we are. We want for people to love us. We will always seek that. But until it is first accepted inside of you, you will never find it externally. You will never, I don't care if you never move from your house that you grew up in your entire life. If you don't accept all of it inside of you, you're not going to belong nowhere. Right, me too, Margaret. That's what I'm all about. Because what are we going to do today? So we all want to belong. We all want to make sure, we all want to know it's okay. But I'm just saying, until you can accept it for yourself, we're not going to belong anywhere. I figured that out the hard way. Couple of marriages, ain't belonging there, none of them. I was seeking to belong, didn't belong. Had a bunch of friends, I was seeking to belong, didn't belong to none of them. And I had to first accept myself before I realized, before I can belong anywhere to anybody, I got to accept myself. And when you start connecting those dots, my sister, then the criteria that you set for other people, you can hold yourself to that criteria. Because a lot of us be like, a man better not step to me, and I wish a girl would, and they couldn't do me at a job like that. But yet you back away from it because, again, you want to belong. And until you're ready to hold yourself to the same standard that you profess that you're going to hold other people to, it's never going to work. So when you start to connect the dots, it's going to be hard for them dots to stick. It's going to be hard for, y'all remember lightning bugs? What do y'all call them? I call them lightning bugs. Fire, light, whatever. They lightning bugs. As a kid in the country, you take them apart and stick them together and make your little ring thing stink from here to high heaven. They're strange things. We put them in a jar and shake them up and watch them glow. That be our little lantern. Until you start dealing in between those dots, y'all, it's some self-work. To make those dots connect, it's some self-work. Else they not going to stick. They not going to stick. I love you too, Miss Margaret. That's my friend. So connecting the dots. First off, if you have the big idea, if you have the big picture, work it backwards. Start by writing it down. Get it out your head and get it on paper. Then it becomes real. When you do it that way, and then even if you don't have the big picture, you have the small idea, write it down and work it backwards. Connect the dots. Thank you, keep. And y'all, I had to be okay with that. I had to be okay. I'm just as quirky It's I want to be. I got the funniest jokes that don't nobody laugh at. And I'm going to sing to my heart's content. I might be challenged in the dance area. I'm a nerd. I am all lover of word things. Hey, I love every aspect of me, and I'm just a little different. And what's the song? I'm different. Don't care who knows it. What is that? What commercial is that? Something about me. Not the same. Yeah. Oscar Mayer. Is that a baloney commercial? Somebody figure that out for me. Until you accept that you're different, connecting the dots is going to be hard, because again, we all want to belong. Let's not lose sight of that. We all want to belong. Right. We all want to belong, but my sister, until you belong to yourself, hello somebody, until you figure that out for yourself, until you understand you, it's going to be hard for them dots to connect. Okay? Until you belong to yourself, accept all of you, who you are becoming, then the dots. And then sometimes, y'all, this is not a, it's not a, it doesn't work separately. It got to work together. Like, I'm going to connect the dots and work on myself. I'm going to figure this out and I'm going to connect the dots. They got to work together. Backward chaining. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I didn't know what it was, Keeper. Thank you. I knew it was something. I knew I'd heard it before. Y'all, it all has to work together. I wish there were steps that you could take separately to say that this, you know, Judge, I can only do one step at a time. Okay, here, the one step you're going to do immediately to get past crazy is you're going to be quiet and sit down and let your thoughts come. Let all the thoughts come as they will and let them be. And then the second thing is do the next right thing for the second, because sometimes we can't think past a minute, 2 minutes. Do the next right thing for the second. And then second after second, and get your foundation set and stick to your foundation. Sometimes you got to remove yourself from crazy. Remember, you're in the cage, and some of us don't know the cage door has opened. You're free to go. Some of us want to stay stuck in it, and that's not how it should be. So connect the dots. Okay? Connect the dots. For me, it's taking the big picture, breaking it down, making it smaller. And then if your picture is so broad and vague, I just want to help people. Think about, and I know this is a whole topic. What breaks your heart? I think I talked about that. What makes you sad? What if there's one thing, if you had no money restriction, any kind of restrictions you wanted to do for people in life, think about that and then work it backwards. Period. Like for me, I am my sister's keeper. Not I want to be. I am my sister's keeper. So for me, that means every day I'm going to engage my sister who I know needs something from me. And that may be inadvertently, and it may be directly. I have a young lady now that, y'all, she's just going through, but she's not ready to talk to anybody about it. She's not ready to admit it to herself, but it is breaking a sister down. So for me, connecting those dots, because I am my sister's keeper, me wanting to help her, it has been the short, hey girl, how you doing? Short me telling of the stories of something and connecting the dots for her. It's me dropping off a book or one of my little positive quotes that I have hanging on my desk. Hey sister, I thought you could use this today. This helps me because I'm having a crazy day. I thought it might help you with your crazy day. And she was like, how do you know that I need these things? And I so bad want to tell her, sister, because I have been you and I know where you are and you're about to break. You have no idea how hard it's going to hurt when you break, but you about to break. So sometimes it's the little bitty steps. It's nothing big. When you start connecting the dots, you'll realize it is it's the small movements that make the big memento. It is the pressing of the gas just a little bit that makes you go a little bit faster so that you can do the things you need to do. So if you want to do, if you want more, and I don't know why I'm thinking about church. I don't know. If you want to do more for your church, if you want to change your women's ministry, if you want to do something different, then do it. Connect the dots. Be the change that you want to see. And y'all know my quote, somebody's waiting on you to move and they will not move until you move. So please get to moving. The world is waiting on you. I'm waiting you. There's a service that you have right now that I absolutely need, and I can't open up my bookstore. There are things that I cannot do because I'm waiting on you, and you are that important to the whole world. You belong here, and I think a lot of us have a hard time understanding that we do belong where we are. But as you start to connect these dots, y'all, you remember like the lightning bugs, you know, in the country they call lightning bugs. You take them apart and stick them together. Oh, that's not for me. You take them apart and stick them together. They actually stick and light up your way. I love lightning bugs. Used to chase them as a kid. But understand, as you start to connect these dots, you're no longer going to belong at the level that you started out with. And you got to be okay with that. And to be okay with that, you first have to belong to yourself. I first have to accept all the love of JoJo and belong to me first. Then, as I start to connect these dots, I understand the movement and the belonging, even though it's something I desire. I have already belonged and understood myself, so that now on the next level, I can belong there too. In the next level, I can belong there too. I'm not saying you don't get nervous, you don't get anxious, you don't worry. I'm not saying any of that. All I'm saying is you start to connect those dots, my sister, you'll realize you can't stay on that level. And as you connect those dots and you become insistent on staying at your level, then you need to impact that level. Is that really where you're supposed to be, or are you forcing yourself to stay there because you're afraid to move to the next level? I'm just saying. I'm just asking for a friend. I'm asking for myself, because when I started connecting the dots, I got comfortable impacting where I was at, but there was something that wouldn't leave me. You know, I was trying to connect more dots, but they wouldn't stick because I hadn't moved to the next level. And it's because I got comfortable belonging on this level, right? So I got comfortable belonging on this level. And please apply this to life and career. So when I was at IBM, I got comfortable at that level because I was a case manager. I knew everything that there was to know how to operate that job. But connecting the dots, me wanting more, I couldn't stay at that level, but I belonged there because my friends were there and they went through the transition with me. But once I started to accept myself and belong to myself, then it made it easier for me to change the next level I was going to. Okay, Margaret. I hear you. Margaret's trying her best to get me to move, but I'm just saying, y'all, connect the dots. And when you're connecting those dots, you got to belong to yourself, because that's all we want as humans. We just want to belong somewhere. We want to know that the vision that we have, that people are not going to look at it. And ultimately, we don't want people to look at us strange for wanting a different life. We don't want people to think of us different because we're thinking different. Because I want a different life for my church. Because I want a different ministry. Or I don't want the kids to grow up and be stuck in the same cycle of religion that I'm stuck in. I want them to grow past that. And that's not a bad thing. And that's nothing to your pastor. It's let me help you take it to somewhere else. I don't know why I'm stuck on church this morning, but I hope it's helping somebody this morning. But we have to be okay that we're different. We have to be okay that, yes, we may be comfortable on this level, but if we keep asking for more up here, we're going to have to keep being comfortable outside of it. Right, she sure can. Rosie will be our absolute amazing cook. So think about that today on this Take Action Tuesday, y'all. Connect those dots today. And if you're having a hard time connecting the dots, if you're a big picture thinker, write it down. Take those thoughts and break it down. If you are a vague thinker, well, I really want to help people and I don't know how, think about what breaks your heart. What if you could do something without the restrictions and you had the freedom to do it, what would you do? Would you build that shelter for the sisters who were abused? Would you feed the homeless? Let me tell you how easy that is to implement on a level of right now. I keep this. This is obviously not my car, but in my car, because I know what it felt like not to have anything, I keep goodie bags. And during the winter, I went through all of my closets and I got all the extra blankets, and I made bags out of coats, blankets, and I went to the Dollar Tree, and a good $50. I bought 10 of everything. Or maybe I think I spent close to 100. Deodorant, wipes, mouthwash, toothpaste, some cookies, some gum. I bought little things and fuzzy socks, and I stuck them in the bag. So everybody that I met, my trunk was slam packed full. Every person I met, standing out, and I didn't see it, I thought had a heavy enough coat, I gave them a coat and a blanket and a goodie bag. Easy. You can make a difference right now. It doesn't have to be long and drawn out. It doesn't have to be immaculate. It doesn't have to be all the things. It simply has to be you taking action. This is Take Action Tuesday. And do it. I'm a firm believer, when I do it, I don't do it to say, oh, my name is JoJo and I just want to give you. Nope. I pop the trunk. I roll up on them. Hey, I got some stuff in the trunk. Take a look. If you need it, you grab it. And I don't care if they clean out everything in my trunk. That's never my worry. I don't care what they take. They can take everything. They can have the pocketbooks, the book bags, the umbrellas. Because I carry umbrellas for when it's raining. I pop the trunk, grab you an umbrella. I don't care if they take it. Because the point is that I am my sister and my brother's keeper. So if you have no idea how to connect the dots, if you are small, you know the small thing that you want to do and you don't understand the big picture of it, start with the small, write it down, and then as you start writing, the bigger picture is going to come to you. If you have the bigger picture, break it down, and then y'all, in all of this process, you'll understand your strengths, what you can and cannot do, and then you start telling people. Then you'll be more comfortable. Remember, this is your safe place. You can contact me anytime to tell me your dream, and it is safe with me, period. Okay? I'm going to help you achieve that thing. But at the end of the day, we all want to belong. We all want to make sure that what we're doing is what we're supposed to be doing, and that we belong here, that the space we occupy here on earth is where we belong, and it's what we're supposed to be doing. And I promise you, it is. When you start connecting the dots, you will start to feel better and better and better about it. It will get easier, I promise. But in the beginning, you got to start. It's Take Action Tuesday. You got to start. You got to start somewhere. So you might as well start today. Welcome to the Fearless Morning Show, guys. We are having confessions and conversations about your everyday life. My name is Yamitra JoJo Waddell, the only Live Past Crazy specialist. So what better place to be than here with me, y'all? I'm doing a book tour. Tampa is my first stop, absolute first stop on the book tour, with Miss Margaret D. Job Coach. So if you can pre-order the book, you can go on Amazon and pre-order the book, or you can go to bit.ly/book tour 2019 and pre-order your book. And so that you can have it. It is on sale right now, so that you can have your book. And if you want me to come to your city, please send me a message and let me know. I have Charlotte, Raleigh, and hopefully Dallas on the list already. So if you would like for me to come, and then if you're more interested in a private, let's have a sister talk conversation, then let me know, and we can make that happen too. There is going to be a sister event August the 23rd through the 25th in Clearwater, and we're looking for 20 to 25 ladies. And this is not going to be one of those events where we sit in a big room and somebody just talk to us. We are for real going to be working on some things and moving past crazy. So hopefully, I don't want you guys to continue living crazy, and if I can help my sister, then that's what I'm going to do. So I hope this has helped somebody today, guys. Please connect the dots. Connect the dots. And if you're having a hard time connecting the dots, that's okay. If you write it down, the first step is to write it down. Get it out your head. Get it on paper. And I promise, you may think, JoJo, that's so simple. It is that simple, but it is a lot. It's simple, and it's not as complicated as we making it to be. I think sometimes we make it complicated so that we don't have to do it. Yet, yes, Mark, it will be fireside chat style. It's going to be I am my sister's keeper, and why that's important. Why it is ultra important to me. So guys, I hope you have an amazing Take Action Tuesday. Remember, you do belong, but first you have to belong to yourself, so that when you're ready to go to the next level, you know that you're going to belong there as well. When we're asking for things up here, let's not look at here, and for sure let's not settle for here. Okay, you belong on all levels, my sister, because you are beautiful, you're smart, you're far amazing than you could ever imagine. I believe in you. The world believes in you. Most importantly, that inner you believes in you. That's why it will not leave you alone. Yep, do it for you first. That's why that thought won't leave you alone. That idea won't leave you alone. That I wish if that was me, I would do this. Well, it is you, and it is for you to go do it. So go do it today. Make it happen today. I hope you guys have an amazing Tuesday. Please be safe, be peaceful, and I will see you here bright and early tomorrow morning. Have a good one.